were signed, businesses were financed, and relationships were built. Its presence in Eganville has represented stability and local service. The decision to close this branch affects all users, including our seniors, our small businesses, our ag community, our Mennonite population, and residents who rely on in-person banking. In rural communities like ours, access matters. Connectivity is not just broadband and cell service, it is also access to essential financial services close to home. Council believes this closure is deeply disappointing and does not reflect the loyalty this community has shown over the years. At the same time, our responsibility tonight is to move forward constructively. This town hall is about three things: listening to you, understanding the impacts in real terms, and identifying practical next steps where we need your help. We want to document the specific challenges this closure creates, whether that is increased travel time, accessibility challenges, impacts on local businesses, or safety issues related to cash handling. Those details matter. So if you would please fill out our sign-in sheet at the door if you have not. And I have received several letters of support, including from Chief Sarrazin, who wrote a very open and honest letter to the federal government regarding what it will mean to his community. We are encouraging all customers of the Bank of Montreal to make their voices heard directly. If you bank here, operate a business account, manage investments, or rely on in-person services, please reach out to BMO's customer care and senior leadership to share how this closure affects you and your family. Staff have provided contact numbers and addresses, which will also be available on our website so that residents can call and formally register their concerns. Individual stories and respectful but firm communication matter. And the more they hear directly from the people impacted, the stronger our collective message will be. We have received, as I said, a few letters already, and this meeting is being uploaded onto our YouTube for those who could not attend. So encourage your friends to watch online and submit their issues. Our efforts will not stop at the end of this meeting. They have just begun. On your tables, you will see an address and phone number for the banking commissioner and some concerns we have heard from the community. Please share these concerns by phone and mail and any additional concerns you may have. Encourage others to do the same. Together, we can make a difference. We are also prepared to explore creative solutions that could include discussions about shared service models, credit union partnerships, mobile banking options, or other community-based approaches that ensures Eganville remains viable and supported. So we would also like to thank the Northern Credit Union for attending this evening with information on their services. Please take the time to visit if you have any questions. What makes Bonnechere Valley and our area strong is not a single institution. It is the people in this room. We are resilient, we are vocal, and we advocate for ourselves. Tonight is about unity and action. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to hearing from you. So at this time, I will open up the mic. What I will ask is that you state your name. You don't have to tell me where you're from. Most of you are from the direct area. But if you'd like to come and share your concerns, also if we could keep each speaker brief so that everybody has an opportunity. And then once everybody has had a chance to speak, we will release you and you can speak to the media, Northern Credit, and of course, our other dignitaries in the room. Thank you. Anybody like to start? Don't be shy. I will tell you, I do not bank with the Bank of Montreal. I'm actually with the Royal Bank. And this even pisses me off. So I can't imagine as a BMO user how ticked off you must be. Cheryl, would you like to come up and speak?
I want to ask you whether or not you know what the plans are for the building that's going to be left out.
All we know is that their real estate division is going to put it up for sale. That's what we were told in a meeting.
So They will donate it to the house.
Not at this time. And if the building's the issue. Anyway. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, please.
So, can people hear me up here, or do I need a mic? You can hear me. All right, I just also wanted to add on to what Jen said. We went to the Rural Ontario Municipal Association meeting in January. And in front of all the cabinet ministers, the Minister of Finance, I asked the question about what they can do to help protect this. Because one of the things I think that is so deeply troubling to us is that the Bank of Montreal is opening up branches in California and they're closing them here. And that's not very elbows up for Canadians. So, we made that point to the provincial government. We also wrote a letter to the federal Secretary of State for Financial Institutions. And so we're making sure that they're not the bad guys in this, but we need their help for all levels of government to pull together. And I just I thought of something as I arrived here that I wanted to also share, which is, we had a little, let's call it a miracle this week where everyone thought that the paper was going to shut and it didn't. So let's not all think that this is a done deal, because we're here, we care, and there is a chance that we can amplify our voices. So if we all do, as the mayor has suggested, I think together we might see that the bank might hear this, especially if we can get some muscle from the federal government and provincial government as well. It's wonderful to see Representative MP here. So bringing that as well to Ottawa for us. So please, the way that we can help work together is to hear from you how this affects you, and then we can take those stories, because stories often are the things that resonate with people. To hear how somebody specifically has begged there for whatnot, or they don't have whatever the thing is, your stories can help us amplify that voice. So just want to encourage that.
Thanks, Mayor. Okay. Caveman.
I have to get up and say something because I went on a little tangent this morning.
I love the rant.
And my
I'm
wife
a
said,
fan.
you have to share that. So it's a little historical. 59 years ago, a 10-year-old boy saw the Montreal Expos play their first game at Jerry Park. And the Bank of Montreal supported that, so far as to offer any kid that got a bank account at the Bank of Montreal a Young Expos card. And I got my bank account, got my Young Expos card. I could go to Jerry Park, and for 50 cents, I could sit in the outfield. The Bank of Montreal did that. That same kid, me, has never left the Bank of Montreal. And 33 years ago, I came back to this community to be a business person in the community I love. And the Bank of Montreal has always been my bank. I've never shopped around for anything else. And I think my loyalty to the Bank of Montreal, we mentioned loyalty before, and I think loyalty should swing a pretty big bat in this case. And there's a lot of people here I know have never shopped around for their banking. The Bank of Montreal has been a part of our lives. That's my piece.
Thanks, Chris. That wasn't as ranting as I thought it was going to get. Yes, Cheryl.
What's going to happen to people who are currently employed? Are they going to be able to go to another community, or are they going to join the ranks of the unemployed?
Okay, so one of the managers is going to retire. The other manager, I'm not sure what her plan is, but no, we don't know for sure what's going to happen with the employees. We've been so focused on trying to keep this branch open so that they have a place to work locally.
One of them did tell me that they have applied to positions at Bank of Montreal, but they have not heard back. So if they don't get them, they will be looking for a job elsewhere.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, what is happening in rural Ontario? Are there 50 little banks closing? And banks open in California because Canadians are all out there? Like,
So
what is happening from the meeting with the finance minister? what came out of that meeting about what the direction the Bank of Montreal was taking here?
It actually wasn't a meeting, it was a question at the Ministers Forum. And Minister Bethlehem Falvey is fully aware that these branches are closing. There are, I don't know how many across Ontario, but there are several in Eastern Ontario. And the president of the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, who is the mayor of Westport, sent me all the information that there are 150 Bank of Montreals being built in the United States, most of them in the state of California.
And so
Why that is, I don't know.
I looked it up also, and it's over the next 5 years. They have this plan to open up 150 plus branches. So to be closing them here and opening them there,
But seemingly only in rural Ontario
Yes.
here, which is why we're here tonight. Yeah.
That's the, I guess they don't make enough money from rural Ontario. Is that the issue? Every quarter I've seen with Bank of Montreal, they're making profits.
Well, this was my argument when we met with some of the executive from head office, is that they're a big three bank. I don't care how much money they make in the village of Eganville. I care that they're making more in a quarter than we levy in a year, or in a month than we levy in a year. So if they can't invest, if it's the building or they're not making enough money here, I don't really care. Like they're making money elsewhere. I was just in the city of Toronto for 2 days. I must have driven past, easily in my travels, I drove past 5 Bank of Montreals, and I didn't go that far. So, the anger here, Chris, I'm gonna rant now. So, as I'm driving, I'm just thinking, oh, there's another one. Aren't they lucky that they have them on every corner? They're like Starbucks. Sorry. I'm a little fired up about this. Who else would like to say how this is going to affect them? I think one of the other things that Annette and I spoke about was that, one direction or another from my house, if I was a Bank of Montreal user, I would be driving 45 minutes. What if I need to get to that bank in the winter time on a day like last week? I'm probably not going to the bank, which is not ideal if you've got bills to pay. Megan?
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Megan McGrath, and I'm president of the board at the Eganville District Seniors, who are tremendously badly impacted by this decision by the Bank of Montreal to shut the local branch. I don't have any statistics at all, but I would hazard a guess that I'm not far off saying that the senior demographic is the least likely to do online banking, and therefore have for their entire lives gone to a bank to do their banking in person. I would think that most days, if you've been in the bank, there are more seniors likely present than those who are not necessarily seniors. And I leave the definition of what a senior is to you, because we at the center don't even make that decision. The impact for our users, our seniors in our communities is unbelievably going to make things unbelievably difficult for them. We offer drives, transportation services for people who need drives to medical appointments, shopping trips, banking, a variety, visiting, whatever it is. And we're stretched already pretty much to the limit in being able to provide those transportation services to our clients. To add further that they can't even just go to the local bank and they have to go to Pembroke where they don't know a soul. Some of those people probably in that bank every week getting their cash out, and they wouldn't probably use the machine. They probably go to the same teller every week. And I think that is going to be a serious impact for all of them. Most of them, I guess not all of them. And we are very concerned at Eganville District Seniors about the cost, because it will cost them to book the transportation and pay for the trips to go to Pembroke for their banking, and for those who are able to make the payments. And so besides the cost is the time and the not knowing what's happening and what's going on and not knowing who you're talking to. And I think those are all serious impacts for our seniors, and they deserve better. They've put all their money for all the years they've been working into probably that bank and probably not shopped, as Chris said, anywhere else around. And their loyalty has been pretty much flushed down the toilet with the rest of ours. Thank you.
And well said, and you know, I would hazard to say that it's not only seniors that don't necessarily want to online bank, there are just some people that prefer to bank in person. Charlotte,
I agree with everything that Megan said. Can you hear me okay?
can you come up, Charlotte? Okay, no, go ahead. I can't bring the mic to you or I would.
That's okay, I'll try and yell. I agree with everything that Megan said. I'm one of the seniors that hang out at the senior center. And I also drive some people around that don't have a vehicle. I take them to the bank and I sit out there on the corner by the Home Hardware and watch the number of people going in and out of that bank. It's just unreal. And I also don't believe on online banking either. I like to go to the bank at least once a month. I've been a member, not a member, a client at BMO for 62 years when I got married. 62 years, started in Winnipeg and we transferred here to McGregor, from McGregor to Eganville 49 years ago. Doesn't that say something that we should be treated properly? And another thing is the population in Eganville. It's expanded with the apartments and everything. There's more people moving into town. I think it's disgraceful.
That's the word for it. It is disgraceful. Thank you, Charlotte. Mr. Tracy's here. Come on, come on up. Oh, goodness, this poor gentleman should have gone before you.
I have to be home by 7, so it's pretty buried. First of all, I see my friends from the credit union here.
Yes.
But before I say anything, I want to just preempt it by saying, I have the greatest respect for the staff at the Bank of Montreal here and the manager. Anything I say does not reflect on their services. You all remember the bank closing in Douglas 50 years ago. And after that happened, a lot of the farmers from Douglas started coming to the bank in Eganville. And when farmers who had been in the dairy business for years were denied having their checks cashed in the Bank of Montreal in Eganville, and they were farming 10 miles down the road, we knew we had a problem. That was a management decision from above. Back in 1984, there was a St. James Parish Credit Union in Eganville. Some people will remember that. Beta Lurie over in Queen Street, you went to her house, you made your deposits. It was a credit union. Credit Union Valley Savings that started in Deep River about I'm going to say 80, 81. They opened a branch in Barry's Bay. And a few of us approached Don Harrison and Wes Stewart at that time about opening a branch in Eganville. They did a quick feasibility study. They moved to Eganville. I actually brought their safe down on the back of my truck, and they located in the building beside Vic's store. That was the beginning of Valley Savings.
You have to be home by 7, Carol.
Valley Savings has grown over the years. I think we were the 3rd branch. There was one in Petawawa, but Petawawa closed and we got their equipment. So we were the 3rd branch as part of Valley Savings. Today, Northern Credit Union is 150 branches, perhaps. There's been a lot of amalgamations. They provide all the same services as the Bank of Montreal. In fact, if it wasn't for the credit union, we wouldn't have Fairfields today. When we were building Fairfields, we were guaranteed $1.5 million in government funding to cover our mortgage for 20 years. BMO did not like that I don't know why, the money was guaranteed by the federal and provincial governments. Valley Savings took it on. We're paying that mortgage off this year. So that's a bit of a history of Valley Savings and what they have done to this community. When they moved to Eganville, we began doing our business, banking at credit union. And I don't want this to be a commercial for them.
It kind of is.
It kind of is, but I'm just trying to point out that we do have an alternative. If BMO goes ahead with its planned closure. They provide all the same services as the bank. You don't have to go to Renfrew, Pembroke, Killaloe, or Barry's Bay. If you want to stay local. And it's a great spot, good staff, they're here, some of them. They lend you money, you pay your interest just like anybody else. I guess the point I'm trying to make is we're not going to be without a facility, but I still think everything should be done that we can do to encourage BMO to stay. And I would hope that our friend Greg Sargent, Chief of the Algonquins, would assist us in putting pressure on BMO.
He did.
And I know, okay, thanks, Greg, because you people are a huge part of this area, and your opinions, your encouragement will go a lot, not further than ours, but it'll assist us in hopefully convincing BMO executives that this community needs and deserves a bank. I've heard one of the reasons they're closing is because of the building.
Yeah.
Which is a crock. I mean,
Yes.
we all have to deal with building maintenance. It's a very poor excuse. And I know banking has changed with online and all through the internet. But I'm kind of a dinosaur too. I like to go into the institution where I deal. I dislike it when they tell me I can do this online because I always tell them you're working yourself out of a job. You know, don't listen to management. They're trying to get rid of you, right, girls? We need people. We've lost that human touch. Everything is on the phone, press a button, and you just get frustrated trying to get anything done. So there's nothing like that human contact and that good local personal service. So I don't know what can be done to convince BMO to stay, except we just have to try to gain their sympathy somehow. You can't threaten them by pulling accounts. They don't care. We're just a pebble in the sand.
To that gentleman's point.
Yeah,
right?
and it doesn't matter if it's rural or city. I don't know how they make the decisions, which branches to close. There will be more in the future. We're not the last. It kind of reminds me of how the beer store closure started. Barry's Bay was the first, now they're up to 100, and we know that there will be more. It's changing times, and I think until people kind of stand up and say enough is enough, we want to deal with people. We don't want to deal with AI. We don't want to deal with robots. We don't want to deal with reporting machines. And how we get that point across, I don't know, but I guess you have to start somewhere, and all I can say is good luck. I don't know the solution, but I just wanted to say that there is an alternative, and it's a good alternative.
Thank you for the history lesson. That was awesome, Gerald. And yes, to Gerald's point, that's why we invited the credit union this evening, because there is an opportunity for people to move their accounts. But to that gentleman's point, this isn't about the money for the Bank of Montreal. They don't care if we move accounts or not. This is about those people that have shown the loyalty, like Charlotte and Caveman, where, you know, they've been here for decades, for generations, and now they're leaving and they're blaming the building. Well, they could move to the beer store if they wanted to. You know, we're online, so I'm not going to swear the way I did the other day with my counsel about how I feel about this, but I will say that as soon as we found out, and we found out at the same time as everybody else did, we were not given a heads up. We immediately had a meeting with the 2 branch managers, commercial and residential. Unfortunately, it was then Christmas time, so they kicked it up, and then we met with one vice president and a manager, who promised us that they would kick it up even further. And the letter we got back was basically, go away. And Annette and I were very disappointed, and we brought it to council, and council is very disappointed. This was not for lack of trying that we're here tonight, or that we had to go to this where we need your input, we need your help. We tried, and they just didn't do what we asked them to do. So, but thank you, Gerald. Barry. No, not Barry. No,
John?
John, sorry. I knew I had your name wrong. You know that feeling?
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
I have the same feelings as everyone else in the building tonight. I'm really ticked off that I'm gonna have to drive to Pembroke to access my $387 in the bank. And once again.
Your lounge there.
Yes, once again, I think I forgot what I wanted to say because Gerald cut me off.
As soon as he got up and you were behind him, I thought, oh no.
Anyways, I have a few thoughts. I've been around business for most of my life. And what's happening here is not unusual. It's going to continue, as Gerald says. They're going to get rid of small branches throughout the province because they're just worried about profits. That's all they're worried about. And what we're dealing with is corporate greed, I would like to say. And because that's all the bank is concerned about is profits. Unfortunately, they're not looking at the profits from the smaller institutions. So where does that leave us? It leaves us that we have to get down and dirty and start to fight. And the only way we can fight is through the power that is represented here tonight. And that's the people. You and I, the council, the papers. You know, we have to get down and do our work. And if we lose out, at least we can say that we tried to the best of our ability. I personally believe the first step that we should consider, and Jennifer, you have done a lot of work, but I think there should be some form of a community committee set up that is run by the community itself under the auspices of the council. I think another thing we should be doing is we should be compiling statistics from our local branch. As I understand it, this branch has never suffered a loss in business. It's been profitable. So again, we ask ourselves, why are they closing it up? Because they're not making enough, I guess. I don't know. But within that, how do you prove your point? You have to get down and you have to get statistics. How much money are they making? What's their profit and loss statement look like each year? What are they making from mortgages? How much are they making from loans? And you put all that together and you make a presentation and you submit it through the power of the media to get access to the seniors at the Bank of Montreal and say, here, listen to us. Now, how do you do that? The only way you can do that is through influence of the media. This is where Gerald comes in. We're the radio station.
Robert's here from the Valley Gazette.
Robert from the Valley Gazette. You know, you do that through the radio media, through television. You know, we got two television stations in Ottawa. We can make presentations to. We're from Eganville. Here's our problem. Will you help us? And then we have the political aspect. This is the land. She will assist us. The new
Billy the kid.
Billy.
Billy, oh, yeah. Sorry, I was supposed to say Billy.
Yeah.
Billy could not be here this evening. He
Yeah.
sends his regrets.
But the bottom line is we need to get organized and take one step at a time. I think we should develop a strategic plan. Here's our plan. How are we going to accomplish it? And when we go through that whole process, and if we're shot down, at least we can look at ourselves in the mirror and say we did the best we could. That's my feeling. Thank you.
Thank you. So, all of council is nodding there, so we're gonna put John in charge of this committee. I think he's ignoring me. He made it all the way to the back of the room. Yeah. I think it's a great idea. One of the things that we made sure of that if you do want to have a committee of Bank of Montreal users, please do. And council's happy to support, but you do need to know that we did let the Bank of Montreal know that we are very unique here. It is not just the village of Eganville, it isn't even just Bonnechere Valley, it's North Algona Wilberforce, perhaps part of Adamston Bromley, the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan, our Mennonite communities, our farmers. There are so many, our seniors, so many other other people that need this branch to be open, and they still didn't listen. So I think that that's a message, along with statistics, and I don't disagree with you, along with statistics that the Bank of Montreal needs to know, and they need to know loudly.
I had one other thought that just occurred to me as people were talking. Oh,
You're not touching my mic. You're not, did you hear Al?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
I just wanted to say, I think also a lot of people are concerned by the level of fraud that's been happening. And so to tell people to go to online and to go to telephone, when seniors in particular, now, Megan, when you were talking that this really hit me, they're the ones, and it's not just seniors, and it's not like young, smart people are getting defrauded too. And it's on the phone and it's online. And so to ask people to move that, you're also putting people at risk of getting, defrauded. It's happened to a lot of people that I know, and it is rampant. And so that's really not the solution. People do need to be able to go and to see somebody when they don't feel confident in the systems that are in place. And I'm not saying the bank systems are defrauding, but there's a lot of bad actors out there. And so I think that's one of the considerations that's costing, it's not good for the economy when people are getting defrauded out of money that should be safe in the banks.
Great.
So.
I also have no clue how you apply for a mortgage online, like a brand new mortgage. I know you can renew, but yeah. Come on up, Darwin.
I'll share a few ideas that.
You should share a few ideas with John, who's gonna head up the committee.
Well, I've been back in Eganville since '94. I was born in the house I'm living in Eganville. And I've been dealing with the Bank of Montreal since I'm a kid. The Bank of Montreal is a registered Canadian corporation, subject to Canadian law. Okay? Corporations under the Canadian legal system are dealt the same way as you and I are dealt with in the courts. What the Bank of Montreal is doing to our community is committing criminal breach of trust under section 336 of the Criminal Code. And it's time they got held to account. And there are a multitude of ways in our legal system to hold them to account. The reason why I know a little bit of this stuff is I spent 30 years as a Fed. I lived double life, military and government executive. My military side was under military non-disclosure agreements for 51 years. That didn't end until 2020. So I never talked about it to anyone. My last boss in the public service was the Deputy Prime Minister, Don Mazurkowski, 1988 to 1993. I kept him out of jail. I looked after his NAFTA contracts, okay?
across Canada. And as a result of that, I got to learn the fundamentals of contract law. And trust me, all law in contract in Canada is contract. And there isn't a single person in this room that knows how to retain their power of attorney in a contract. Not one. When you sign your name on a contract or an application where there's a black X beside the signature line, you just commit 9 crimes under the criminal code. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for tonight. If you want to know more, I'm quite willing to talk to people.
Okay. So I I do want to leave some time for people to mill about and talk and meet with the Northern Credit Union and with our other dignitaries, but was there anything else? And please take those forms home and phone and email and do everything you can. Let's flood the Bank of Montreal, let's flood the feds and the province and let them know that this is unacceptable to our area for a multitude of reasons. Did anybody else want to come up and speak?
People know, like, not everyone's got a copy of this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we made more copies.
You did, okay.
Yeah,
Does the federal government have any say in
I- well, it is, yeah.
Ask.
Cheryl, would you like to speak to this?
Question, if you had to ask for regular question. I had the absence of mind to walk to the bank the morning of the third last business day of the month. And there's a full 2 lines of seniors with handfuls of bills to pay. I don't know if Northern Credit Union does that through the service, but that's a whole other dimension that they're going to be lacking, a way to pay their bills in person. Otherwise, well, it's the mail and the mail's working. That's wonderful, but the mail isn't working, you have to do it in person.
And all you have to do, Cheryl, is ask our staff at the municipal office what happens on tax day. Right? They're lined up with cash, with checks, paying their bills in person, not online, not on a phone. Thank you for that. And I would expect that you will be able to bring this back to the federal government for who are the overseers, the overlords of the banks. Okay. Did anybody else have anything? Well, I will tell you on behalf of council and staff, thank you so much for coming out. At least it's not snowing, yay. Yet. But I do appreciate it. And John, I'd like to meet with you at another time, please, to talk about forming a committee. But in the interim, please tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog. Everybody's got a call, email, right? And get it.
That's right.
Oh, you want?
Shut up for this.
I misunderstood the assignment. But thank you all so much for coming. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wanted to know, this, you should have asked at the beginning, is the Bank of Montreal representative invited you?
Yes.
Did they send a letter or an email saying whatever?
Many Bank of Montreal representatives were invited here and they declined. Oh, and Annette is standing. She's standing with the sign-in sheet. So if everybody could make sure that they sign their name and give us a phone number, just as things progress. I wouldn't mind being able to get in touch with people to let you know what's going on, especially if there's something. Like if there's great news and you don't want to wait till Wednesday to get the Eganville leader, now that we still have the Eganville leader. But yeah, so please sign in and enjoy the rest of your evening. Oh, James Bros would like to say something. Chief, would you like to say something?
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, bring Greg up.
I'm not gonna force him.
Come on, Greg.
You're not the boss of me.
Thank you, Jennifer, and I just wanted to echo everything that's been said. I agree with it 100%. I want to thank Jennifer and her council for organizing this, giving everybody an opportunity to come out. I do believe that for a lot of our residents, the relationship you build with your bank, and as Chris had said earlier, it's all about building that trust. And the people that use that Bank of Montreal on a regular basis, year after year, they've been developing that trust with the staff that they are so familiar with and are comfortable with, and to have to travel first and foremost to another bank, they don't know anybody, they're not going to have that same level of confidence and trust. They don't always have the transportation. I think of our Mennonite community that's growing rapidly. They certainly aren't gonna take their horses and buggies to Pembroke or Renfrew. Well, they might go to Renfrew, not sure about Pembroke. So again, it really limits some of the service options for those individuals. So again, I agree with the work that Jennifer and her council have done, and hope that this can continue, and not sure if we can make a difference, but if you don't try, you'll never know.
Exactly.
Chief Saracen is gonna come and say a few words.
I don't have a whole lot more to add to what's already been said. I want to say that all of these same issues that you all are dealing with, we're dealing with as well. The Bank of Montreal has been our bank, it's been my bank for 50 years. I feel comfortable there. It's one-on-one service. You walk in, you know people, people say hi to you by your name, you bring your bills in, you put your money in, you take your money out. And it's small town banking. We have senior citizens, we have shut-ins, we have people that pay their bills online or directly rather than online. And it's this kind of service, small town service and friendliness that myself and the people that have walked and gone really value. The Bank of Montreal is an institution that we've all grown up with and we've all lived with. And it's very important to the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan. And I want to say that we will do what we can to help out to ensure, to do what we can to make sure that the bank does not close. Maybe, you know, we're fighting a losing battle, but at least we're going to give it our best shot. And I'm hoping that we will be successful and all of us collectively be successful and be able to save the Bank of Montreal branch. So, Miigwech, thank you, but we're on board to do what we can as well. Thank you.
Okay.
We just got an email.
We just got an email from the Secretary of State's Chief of Staff. And it's positive.
Yeah, for financial services. You can read it if you want. Might want to read it.
This is late breaking news.
Literally just came in.
Is he watching it online? Is that why?
Yes.
All right.
You're okay.
So it says, hi Meredith and Jennifer, thank you both for reaching out on this. I very much appreciate you taking the time to detail the situation in your community. Access to banking in rural communities is an area of particular concern for Secretary Long and our office. And it is something we have been engaging with both the financial sector and stakeholders across the country. While I was not able to facilitate the attendance of a member of our team this evening, I would be happy to find a time to connect on this with the team in the near future. And then he's included some people from his policy team. So maybe that's good news. Maybe that's a good end. Thank you, Mayor.
Good work.
Yeah, definitely.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
Just, and I don't mean to be funny or anything, I want to be respectful of the natives as well. But maybe we could have a powwow in front of the Bank of Montreal and have all the Mennonites come in with their horses and park their temporary no cars there. Just have a whole bunch of Mennonites another day. And then the CTV out of Ottawa would take a shot of that.
I'm sure we could get CTV to come up. You know, I just want to follow up on something that Chief Saracen just said. The other reason, and we said this at council, yesterday. The days all blend together. We don't know if this is going to work, but we're going down kicking and screaming. So I hope that, I hope we make a difference in any case. All right, so enjoy the rest of the time. Talk to each other, talk to the Northern Credit Union, and thanks again. And council is always available to talk if you need any of us. Thank you.
Can I sign that, Drew? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Hi, Chris, how are you?